part of that is, I think it's so important because so often we talk about how difficult it is and all of the challenges, and there are, right? But there's also this bountiful harvest of what God intended your marriage to be.
Yeah.
And, a few shows back, we talked about God being like the ultimate one-upper, right? Like he's like, we have a plan and we think we know what is right. But if you allow God into this, man, he's gonna just blow your socks off. This is Ryan and Michelle, and welcome to the Celebrate Marriagecast, where we hope to restore and reclaim godly marriages through honest and real conversations.
Welcome to episode 109. We are so glad that you're joining us today as we talk about a very fall-friendly topic, harvest.
The harvest.
Welcome to the show, Ryan.
Yes, thank you, Michelle.
We brought some decor from the pumpkin patch again.
Backyard pumpkin patch.
I saw that we have some more growing.
Yes, we do.
That's super
I think there's 2 more. Crazy. It's crazy. I don't know.
So good. We have the cutest little gourds on our podcast table here in the studio that are just, fabulous. Yeah. Ryan grew them.
Yeah.
With love.
With love.
Mm-hmm.
With love.
And we harvested them.
Yes. So, Michelle, here in South Dakota, it is definitely harvest time. We recently went back to our alma mater for homecoming weekend. It was super fun. Yes, go Coyotes. But while we were driving, Michelle, I noticed like all of the combines in the fields and all the farmers harvesting their crops. They were everywhere. Mm-hmm. There was kind of like a haze to the air.
Some were done.
Yeah.
Some fields were clear, which was really amazing. It was early for that.
Yeah. And this whole time I was thinking about like everything that goes into this, right? Like we're at the time where there's like this culmination, you're harvesting the crop, but it didn't start there. Mm-hmm. There's so much that goes into harvesting a crop. And I was just sitting there thinking about like, man, this is so much like our marriages. Our marriages are the exact same way, right? Like you might be looking at a couple and you might be looking at their harvest and you might be jealous of them. You might be saying, "Oh, look at their marriage. I want to be that," or they're so perfect. They have everything figured out. But what you're not seeing is everything that went into that marriage, right? Like they're at a point, like you're seeing the harvest, but you're not seeing everything that went into it.
Right. I love that only a farm kid could come up with an analogy on marriage from the harvest. This is so great. I love that. And I think you're right that the harvest is such a big deal, right? That's when they're going to find out what is their yield, what are they getting paid. Like there's so much on that, but it doesn't just happen. This has been months, maybe even starting the previous year, with ordering seeds and all of that.
Right.
So we're applying it to marriage today.
Yeah,
I love
absolutely.
That.
Yeah, I love that, Michelle. Cool. Thanks for the shout out here. Farm kid making the tie into marriage here.
Brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love it.
So, Michelle, to get started here, right? If you're going to reap a harvest, the first thing that you need to do is you need to plant some seeds, right? And it just brings up a question of what seeds are you planting in your marriage? The Bible says in 2 Corinthians 9:6, whoever sows sparingly will also reap sparingly, and whoever sows bountifully will also reap bountifully. I love this verse because, what is it? What is it that you want to grow in your marriage? Is it more intimacy, better communication, kindness, love, right? It's easy to point the finger at someone else, but you have to ask, what seeds are you personally sowing in your marriage, in your relationship? Right? So what does this look like? Okay. If you want better communication, I'm using that because we talk about this all the time.
All the time.
Right? Okay. But if you want better communication, but you're constantly like yelling and like nagging and being negative to your spouse, what are you going to harvest? Because you're planting, that's what you're planting. And so, I think about this where if you maybe say like, one nice thing, and then you say 10, mean things to tear your spouse down, what seeds are you planting?
Negativity. Because
that's what you're going to reap. That's what you're going to harvest. So like this verse talks about if you spare or if you sow sparingly, you'll reap sparingly.
I think it's right. It's like for a farmer, if they win and purchase soybean seeds and then the next season they were mad at their harvest because they had corn, it would be absurd, right?
Yeah.
You'd go to them and say, well, of course you got soybeans because you purchased and planted soybean seeds. So what are you planting? Not dissimilar from our fruits of the spirit conversation last week, right? When you're squeezed, what comes out? But in this case, what seeds are you sowing in your marriage?
Yeah.
That's so good.
I mean, and like, another example, if you want kindness in your marriage, but you're spreading seeds of anger, of negativity, like all of those things. Resentment, whatever it is, like you have to ask, what seeds are you actually planting?
Yeah.
Because if I'm nice to you one time, okay, I'm not going to harvest bountifully, right? I'm going to maybe get one little thing that shoots up, right? But if I'm constantly, okay, I want more kindness, okay, I want more kindness, and I'm planting those seeds every single day, and I'm sowing bountifully, I'm going to harvest bountifully.
Right. I think of our kids with this, and people will say like, gosh, we'll talk about our kids and say, oh, they're amazing, they're amazing. And often people will say, well, that doesn't come from nowhere. And I do appreciate that because it is a lot of intentional seeds we've planted into them. So I think maybe people do this, I don't know for sure, but maybe they do this better for their kids than their spouse. So parents, I feel like, we build our kids up, give encouragement, but are you doing that for your spouse too?
Yeah.
Every day I drive to school and I tell Thomas words of affirmation, and I want him to have on the armor of God and just really build him up before he goes out into the world. Are you doing that for your spouse?
Yeah. Yeah. That's a great point, Michelle.
And I feel like we do that well for each other.
Yeah.
We're encouraging, we build each other up. We're, not tearing each other down. We're careful, even whether we're around them or not, we're still planting seeds that are of, the fruits of the Spirit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Ryan, you have we should tell the listeners, we have 3 steps for you today to a bountiful harvest, right? So that was the first one.
Yep. Yeah.
You have to sow the seeds that you want.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. I got to give number 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go for it.
Next, you have to water the seeds. You have to water them. So if you have ever gardened and maybe had a plant that died, it probably, potentially could have lacked water, maybe light. Those are typically the things, right? It's getting too much light or water, et cetera, et cetera. But you need to actively water it. So let's apply that to your marriage. Are you actively putting water onto your marriage to hydrate and nourish, driving all the nutrients of the soil to allow your marriage seeds to grow? Right? Are you doing intentional things to water your marriage? So, for example, that could be going on a date night. That could be pouring those watering texts of, text messages to your spouse. It could be having intentional conversations. It's watering the seeds so that they can grow. I do want to point out, Ryan, that only God can grow it, but we need to be faithful in watering, right? If you think of a plant, we're not actually out there pulling its roots up, pulling it's the top of the plant up and, forcing it to grow. We can't do that. But we can, by faith, water it and watch God grow it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Michelle, I love you've said this multiple times about, how marriages don't just like remain
you're either growing or you're dying. Right. So nothing is ever stagnant. It's not possible for you to just be stagnant in the direction you're going. You're either going forward or backwards, you're growing or you're dying. So if you're not actively watering your marriage, it's slowly dying.
Yeah.
That feels really extreme to say.
Right.
But if you just stop watering a plant in your house, it will slowly die.
Yeah, absolutely. There's that saying about like if you think your neighbor's lawn is greener than yours, it's time to start watering your own lawn or something along those lines.
Yes.
And it's so true. Like, you have to invest in your marriage. You have to grow. You have to invest in that. I think otherwise you're exactly right, Michelle. It'll start to die.
I think one thing that we've done to water our marriage that's been really helpful is a small group or a community group. That's something regardless of where you live, where you're listening to this podcast, you could get plugged into a local life group, community group, couples group to help water your marriage. We'll go after this recording, we'll get dinner, and then we're going to our couples group. And that's going to be a way to intentionally water our marriage.
Yeah.
Where we're actually having a mini date night after this. We have a gift card Ryan got for his birthday. We're going out to eat after this. So we're really taking care of a lot of things. We're pouring a lot of water on our marriage seeds tonight.
Yeah.
We're signed up for our church's date night, which is happening this Friday when this airs. And that's another great way to intentionally water our marriage seeds.
Yeah.
So what are you doing to be intentional?
Yeah.
Ryan, before you move on to the third thing, I actually have a 2.5. I have a bonus one that I snuck in.
Okay.
You don't even know it yet because I added this and then I printed the notes. But you also can add a fertilizer.
Oh,
this is optional.
Yeah.
But you need to water, but you may choose to fertilize your plants. And that could be things like doing something more intensive. Maybe it's going to a marriage retreat. We did that years back. We went to the Weekend to Remember. It was really great. Or, maybe it's doing an intentional getaway. It's funny because we're doing a trip for our 14th anniversary. And I was thinking, it'd be funny if I posted like, big milestone, happy 14, because it's like, it's not quite to the next number. Yeah. But we take that very seriously. We do something every year. Now, it's not, you don't have to do anything extravagant. It could just be going on a date, but we always do something to celebrate our anniversary.
Yeah.
And that I feel like is putting fertilizer on our marriage.
Yeah.
The soil and the seeds.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Absolutely.
Bonus one.
Yeah, Michelle, thank you. Thank you for sharing that bonus one. I like that. Yeah. It's all about growing. It's all about intentional, like what are you intentionally doing to grow your marriage? Mm-hmm. And I think that's great.
I feel like we use that word intentional a lot. And I do think that's what it comes down to. It's being intentional. It's having your mind made up that, when I plant these gourds on our table, I want to see it come to harvest. I want to see it grow to its greatest potential and become what God purposed and planned for it.
Yeah.
And that takes some intentional steps.
Yeah. So. I mean, I think of those little gourds that are on the table, right? God provided the light, but I had to intentionally wake up every day and water them. Like every day.
Lots of watering.
You
did. Unless we were out of town, you did not miss a day.
Right.
How much earlier did you wake up every day to water, like versus in the winter?
Oh, probably 20 minutes.
It's a big commitment.
Yeah.
But I think that it takes some kind of a sacrifice too, right? Intentionality requires you determining to do the thing and then sacrificing a little bit to make it happen. You could be sleeping.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like I am at that time. But you choose to get up and water.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely. All right, Michelle.
Number
3. This one is really, I thought a lot about this one, actually. I didn't originally have this one in. But I was really convicted of this one. And the third thing that you need to do to reap an amazing harvest in your marriage is you need to remove the weeds. Now, what do I mean by that? right? Those are those things that creep in and try to take over your crop. And I think it's really important to address this, because I think we can all agree that there's things that creep in that separate your marriage, that will separate the two of you in your marriage, right? We have an enemy. We've shared this before, and it's not your spouse, okay? We have an enemy, the devil. And the Bible says in John 10:10 that the thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. If anybody's ever had like dandelions in their yard, right? Like they take over. Like and that's what happens. That's what happens. So, it's really important to take a look and see, okay, what do we need to start weeding out? What's taking over? And I think some of those things, like, we can look at, like, maybe it's technology, right? Like social media. I heard this phrase the other day and it stuck with me, doom scrolling.
Oh yeah.
I've never heard that before. And it was just sort of like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, when you think about it, it's a pretty accurate description,
yeah,
right?
I didn't realize that, but how much is that taking you away from the person that's right in front of you?
Yeah.
Maybe you need to throw that thing to the side and, face-to-face communication with your spouse. That's a big one. It's a big distraction right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I think being aware of how much time we're spending on it. I know for me, that's an area that I have had to take awareness of and take stock of in looking at the clock more often to say, oh, okay, it's been 20 minutes. Like, I need to be done with this, or whatever that is. But setting timers on your phone, or I heard someone say something about you can change your screen to black and white. Is that real?
Oh, I have no idea.
So then it's less appealing to scroll, to doom scroll, because it's in black and white. I don't know.
Okay.
I'll have to look in that.
Wow. Okay. I learned all kinds of new things here. The other one, Michelle, that I think is just pops up is eliminating those things that are really tainting your eyes, your heart, and I instantly think of pornography and those things that just are poison, are absolutely poison to your mind, your relationship. And I think that's one of those that if you can eliminate that immediately, will drastically change.
Right, I appreciate that. We were just talking about shows the other day. I was at a meeting and there was a reference to some show, and I was like, what are you guys talking about? Because we watch more like mystery shows and
right.
stuff like that. And they said, oh, it's the Love Boat or something, Bachelor on a Boat. I don't know. And I'm sure it's very popular, I'm sure. But for me, I feel like maybe that's an area that females fall into, is like watching these shows. And I don't know, first of all, the show is kind of crazy, right? Somebody's dating all these people at the same time, but also I don't necessarily know that they're making the best choices. I don't really know. I don't watch them anymore. I mean, way back in college, forever ago, but and then just, the outfits and attire and stuff like that. So just being aware of what are you consuming with your eyes?
Yeah. I mean, I can say, Michelle, that I think when you, for me personally, like when you eliminate those weeds, and if that's pornography, if that's, the shows that you watch that are, they're inappropriate, and if you could eliminate those things, you will have, you will see your spouse through a different lens, and you will have more appreciation. I think you'll have better intimacy. You'll have better connection. So like the very thing that you think is creating that is an illusion. Like it's a weed growing in your lawn that you need to get rid of it, because what's to come is a bountiful harvest. And I think if you can sow those seeds of purity, of guarding your eyes, guarding your mind, your harvest will be bountiful.
Yeah. Yeah. I love you so much, Ryan.
Thanks, Michelle. Yeah.
I appreciate that so much and what you've done in our marriage. And I would say too that weeds could be habits. It could be, addictions. It could be who you spend your time around. We've all heard that you're the sum of the 5 or 7 people that you spend the most time around. So are they dragging you into the muck with them? Are they causing you to compromise? Are they, leading you into gossip or conversations that are getting you all rattled up or, super, political where it's just you're getting callous and stuff? What is that? What are the weeds in all of your areas?
Yeah.
Friends, habits, where you're spending your time. Look at that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, great one, Ryan. All right, so time to get de-weeding.
Yes.
Can you think of any that we need to? I feel like the doom scrolling, I've gotten better. I feel like I'll still find myself where it's like, oh my gosh, 20 minutes just went by. And it's really being intentional with that and doing things like this morning. I refused to allow myself to get onto social before I'd done my Bible. So I did the Bible recap and then I exercised. And I don't even know when I checked social. It was later in the day, in the morning.
Yeah.
So yeah, things like that.
Yeah. I mean, I think just being aware of if something's like raising the temperature in your life, like, okay, I need to take a look at this and be like, okay, does this have a place or is this literally just raising my blood pressure to a point where I'm going to explode?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, that's great.
I mean, those in all honesty, like I have to run it through that filter of, okay, is this making me better? Is this making me, grow closer to Christ? Is this making me grow closer to my spouse? Is it making me to be a better man, husband, father, all of those things? Like, if it's not, I'm plucking it out.
So good, Ryan. So we have planting the seeds, the right seeds. We have watering. We have pulling the weeds out. And finally, so those are your 3 steps. Finally, this is a capstone moment here. It's celebrating the harvest. It's celebrating a bountiful harvest of a great marriage. So, Ryan, I don't think our society tends to celebrate enough. I know for me personally, I am wired as an achiever. My Clifton strength, my number 1 strength is achiever. So often I will do, and then I will just move on to the next thing. So I could accomplish something incredible. And it's like, okay, what am I going to do tomorrow? What's next? But taking a moment to really cherish and celebrate your spouse and the marriage that you've built.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think just like I said at the beginning, Michelle, it's easy to look at a marriage and see like all the happiness and all of those things. And I, part of that is, I think it's so important because so often we talk about how difficult it is and all of the challenges, and there are, right? But there's also this bountiful harvest of what God intended your marriage to be.
Yeah.
And, a few shows back, we talked about God being like the ultimate one-upper, right? Like he's like, we have a plan and we think we know what is right. But if you allow God into this, man, he's going to just blow your socks off. And it's going to be, we also need to celebrate that of like, wow, we've done all of these hard steps. We've planted the right seeds. We've watered, we've fertilized, we've plucked the weeds out. Now the harvest comes.
Yeah.
And it's okay to celebrate that harvest too.
Right. And I think too, having patience in the process and knowing that if you start some of these steps tomorrow, it does take time for you to yield a harvest. Think about going back to the soybean farmer that if he or she went out and planted tomorrow, then they wouldn't show up the next day and say, where are my soybeans?
Right.
They would know that it takes planting, a lot of watering, pulling the weeds out, and then finally harvesting before they are able to celebrate that abundant harvest.
Yeah.
So it takes consistency to yield that.
Yeah.
And that's what we want to encourage you with, is just starting that process and knowing that amazing marriages don't just happen. They take intentional work, and that's what these steps are.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great, Ryan.
Thanks, Michelle.
Fun show.
Yeah.
I love it.
All right.
Do you want to do the mystery question?
Let's do mystery question.
Cue the song, Patrick.
All right, Michelle. Oh boy. Okay.
Oh no, I'm nervous.
No, this is great. Okay, if you could time travel, but only once, where would you go, to the past or the future? Question.
Yeah.
Sorry, clarifying question.
Yeah.
Like, are you just going there, or can you come back?
Oh, let's come back.
Okay.
Right? Okay.
Got it. Okay. So the real,
I don't know though. Let's just say that though.
The real mystery question is, would you go to the past or to the future?
I don't want to know the future, because I think it could change how I live today in a negative way.
Okay.
Well, like if something bad or sad was going to happen, then it might paralyze me a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
I would want to go back. Well, this is hard because I feel like the ultimate answer is Jesus. I want to go back and talk to Jesus.
Okay.
But can we just say that most people would maybe say that? Do you think that? Okay, Jesus, or if we just establish that that would be the common faith answer, then I would say I would go back to when I was a teenager to talk to my dad. He passed away when I was 14, and I would just go back and chat with him, get more guidance and life. And it'd be really cool if I could go back and tell him about my life today. Like that would be the ultimate.
Yeah.
I would love that so much. So probably I'd go back to like 1997.
1997. Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
That's
Time
good.
travel.
Yeah. Okay.
Where would you go?
Oh man, I don't know. I think I don't know. I think I'd go to the past.
Okay.
Where? I don't know. I don't really know. There's so many.
Why the past?
I'm a big like history buff. And so like it's like really intriguing to me. Like I like that kind of stuff. So I don't know, like so many different events that like.
Pick one. Where would he go?
Oh man. I don't know. I think, clearly like hanging out with Jesus would be pretty cool. You know, that would be.
Go on a boat with him.
Yeah. Ride on the boat.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay. So if you had to pick a second one, then where would you go?
A second one. Oh man. Wow. I don't know. Geez, this is really hard.
You did a lot of projects in school on, was it the Revolutionary War? Like, would you go back to that time?
Yeah, I think like signing of the Declaration of Independence would be really cool. Just to
like they're hanging
just
out,
like chilling there.
Hey
like,
guys, need a pen?
Hey guys, like I'll sign my name there too. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think so many of those things would be really cool. Yeah. I think all of those things. I think I'd probably go back to like senior year of high school, and like I think that would be really interesting to be like, hey, God's got some plans for you, buddy.
Aww.
Like, don't
keep the faith.
Like don't fall away. I think that would be an interesting conversation as well.
Oh my gosh, it's like when you go to those conferences and they're like, what would you tell the 5-year-old version of yourself? Like my eyes, when you were saying that, my eyes welled up a little bit, because I think that's so true for me too, to go back and be like, keep the faith, the faith.
Yeah.
Very fun. Awesome. Well, that was a fun mystery question.
Yeah.
I like this new set that we have, and all of a sudden they're kind of cool. All right. Well, thank you to our listener for joining us today. We hope that this gave you great tips for how to have an abundant harvest in your marriage. And we want you to know that we have marriage resources, Celebrate.church/marriage. You also can find our church. You can watch it online and find location, service times, and more at Celebrate.church. We hope you have a great week.
Have a great week.